Hey everybody, GarageKing here, and I am in a Model 3 Tesla.
So how do we get into this fancy Tesla car? If any of you've noticed, they kind of have funny handles, and this is how you get in.
So how do we get into our Model 3? We just push the handle in like this. There you go. And we just open the door.
Now, once we slide into our Tesla car, we can see here's our Tesla steering wheel with a few buttons. There's our computer, and actually you don't have much of anything else. You got the computer here, but if you look at the dash, you really don't have much. Let's take a look at the interior. So here we have the interior, and what was quite surprising to me was the amount of glass in this vehicle. The whole roof is pretty much just all glass, and it actually made for a really nice driving experience. I was pleasantly surprised, and I really liked the open and airiness of the car. I mean, a lot of people really like having a sunroof, but this is beyond a sunroof because your whole roof is basically all glass. So for me, thumbs up for that. I really like the glass roof. So let's open up the vehicle and take a look at our storage space. So everything is pretty much push button. You just push to open up the hood, and you do the same for the trunk, and heck, even the charge door. I'll push that and I'll show you outside what it looks like. But you just push the button, it opens up, and there you can see on the computer screen to the side there, it just shows that the charge port is open. So let's take a look at the front of the vehicle first. So here in most cars, you would normally have an engine, but in this case, you got storage for groceries or whatever. And if you look up here, nice easy access, that's where you would fill the washer fluid. So easy to fill that. Anyway, you can see it's got actually a decent size, and you can put stuff in here. Now, what most people are going to say is, well, if you have a decent size here, how does a trunk look? Well, let's go to the trunk. Now, the trunk actually has a lot of space, and you can see here, I'll pan in here, it's quite large, so very, very easy to put a bunch of stuff in, definitely more than enough for groceries. And actually for a little road trip, this thing would be great because if you couple your trunk space along with what you have in the front, that makes for a lot of storage space when you're on the go. So very happy with that, and actually I was kind of surprised at just how big the trunk was in this car. Now let's move over to the charging port really quick. I just wanted to show you this. You can see the blue light is on, and that means it's okay. That's where we plug it in. Now I went over to a supercharger station, and it flashes green when it's charging. Here I'll zoom in for you, and you can just see, there you go. You can see it's flashing green when it's charging. So that was really cool. Now, the one thing I don't know is if it flashes green when it's charging at home, or maybe when it's flashing green just because we're at a supercharger station. Actually, I never really thought of that. So here you can see I'm at a supercharger station, and these things are really cool. I actually didn't know that they were so, I guess, abundant until I actually took this car out and then realized they're all over the place. So most of the time with my normal gas vehicle, I just drive right by them, but they are actually everywhere. So anyway, pretty cool. Just wanted to show you that. So here's what the computer shows when we're charging it on the supercharger station. It's actually quite informative. I really liked it. So that part is really cool. I was really happy with that. Very, very informative. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was just give it a nice wash. These things look timeless, these cars. If you notice, Tesla doesn't really change their styling that much, and yet they always look good. So anyway, enough of that. Grab your special Tesla key and let's get out there on a road test. And basically, I'm going to have to ask myself, was it worth it?
Totally worth it. So I'm in drive now, and you saw the shifter. All you do is you just click it down for drive, you click it up for reverse, and you push the button for park. So one down for drive. So let's get going. Now, it's really cool because when you don't even put your foot on the gas yet, we don't start moving. And then if I put my foot on, I can move, take my foot off, and you can see we just stop. Just like that. So you don't roll forward like a car. You can do it in the adjustments. I'll show you that later. But for now, what I want to do is just drive in the car and have some fun in the car and see how it feels. And we are driving in the car. You can hear there's no transmission shifting. There's absolutely nothing. So it's really cool. It's a very different driving experience. Now these brakes are set to aggressive, or I shouldn't even say brakes. They're not brakes. Just the way the gas is set. So as soon as I take my foot off the gas, it feels like I'm putting the brakes on. You actually feel like you're slowing down quite a bit. And with this Model 3, if you get used to it, you can actually pretty much drive with one pedal. You barely need the brake pedal because when you take your foot off the gas, that's how fast it stops. It just slows down. But what it does is it's recharging the battery when you actually do that. So it's great, but you don't have to have it on that setting. You can put it on a regular setting where it'll be more like a car and it'll coast down, but then you're gonna actually have to use the brakes. But I like this aggressive setting the best because you know what? You're gonna recharge the battery every time you're slowing down, and you don't even waste your brakes because you're barely ever using them. So it's pretty neat. Driving this car, let me tell you, it's a very, very different driving experience. There's literally just some air noise. There's like no engine roar. You're not shifting any gears. It's actually very pleasurable to drive this this Tesla. I must say I really enjoy it. It handles really well, like when I want to steer either way. So handling is really well. If I want to push on the brakes, it definitely brakes well. It's a little different to get used to the screen. So you have this massive jumbotron screen here, and nothing over here, like you would have your normal gauges on a conventional car over here, and you don't have any of that. You just got this massive screen in the center. The other thing is when you're driving, it's really cool. You can actually see the other cars around you. I shouldn't say you can see, but the computer can see through its cameras the other cars that are around you, and that appears on the screen. It's picking up the pylons that we just crossed. Now, how does this thing accelerate? I know the acceleration, it's just on the normal mode of acceleration, and it's my neighbor's car, so I'm not going to go racing around. But if you get into it, it definitely that was the normal mode, and it definitely it'll accelerate. I know the camera's not going to pick up this part here because there's a reflection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this a little bit separately. So here we're going to have another view here. You can see there's the big P for park. Let's put it back in drive, make sure there's no one around, and we're going to just turn around here. Put it back in reverse. There is for our vents, so I can move our vents over. Maybe I'll put up a arrow or something, or I'll zoom in there just to show it. If not, I'm going to try to catch it later, but that's really neat, which way we want our air to blow out. We have our temperature. Let's go back to our car. Here's our lights, all of our controls for our lights, our locks. It's actually really easy. Display, so there's our display for our brightness. Driving, then we got standard, chill, comfort, standard, sport, regenerative braking. I have it on standard right now. We have our autopilot, our navigation, safety, security, service. This is really cool. It's you can see all the cars around you, so it lets you know where you are in traffic. So we have camera, calendar, energy, which is really cool, so we can see how much energy we're using if we want to look at our energy. Instant range, average range. There's our charging, lets you know 391 kilometers left. So definitely comes a long way from cars when they first came out.
So we can see the cars from 100 years ago definitely do not have the technology that they have today. There's no touch screens, no roll-up windows, no air conditioning, no autopilot, nothing in this car.
This is the first time I've ever driven a Tesla, and I want to give my neighbor a big high five for letting me drive his Tesla, because this is making me want to buy one.
So that's it for the video, everyone. If you have any questions, anything like that, any comments, please leave them below. Like I said, this is my neighbor's car, so I don't actually own this Tesla, but I really wanted to share my driving experience with you all. It was a really cool drive. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.